I was just thinking how incredibly glad I am that I have gotten over my anti-religious attitudes because I am so blessed by my relationship with a number of people who are very traditionally religious. Um, and so that is the lead into the reading of today from Love More, Fear Less. Forgive Me, Jesus, by, let's see, the author of this one is John Halcyon Stin. I had an awesome lunch yesterday with an exceptionally wise Christian friend. As we talked, I found myself finding more connection with Jesus' words, as well as clarity of basic spiritual ideas I have been exploring. Preface. I am not a Christian. I see Jesus as a great spiritual leader who tried to express profound divine awareness with those around him. He tried to put the awareness into words, which have been translated and passed on through the multi-generational church PR machine. But I think the specific words are far less important than the direction of the ideas. And to me, I see the same direction of thought from many evolved teachers in history and living today. So, while I am frustrated by some people's strict allegiance to the words of the Bible, I am also struck by how often it can be interpreted in ways that mesh perfectly with my New Age philosophies. For example, I see Jesus as the role model for our ideal selves. I don't see him as the Son of God, but as a symbol of the divine in all of us. In this sense, we, quote, follow Jesus, unquote, as we walk our paths and strip away our worldly socialization. The false idols we need to avoid are the gods of status, fame, wealth, etc. Chasing these things is a surefire path to suffering. And if we place these things above love, our world feels like it is filled with obstacles and injustice. This focus on what is wrong is what I would call hell. But when we see the miracles that surround us, then heaven is in every moment. Therefore, the path to heaven is within, or through me, meaning becoming more Christ-like. I was thinking about the almost comical Christian belief that you can ask for forgiveness on your deathbed, and no matter what you did, you still go to heaven. But during lunch, I had an epiphany. This idea of instant access to heaven through forgiveness is profound. The reality is that you're not asking forgiveness of anything outside of yourself. You are accepting that the flawed perfection that is you. You are recognizing that this ego persona is not really you. All these things you may have shame or guilt over were done as part of your separate ego identity. But when you let go of that identity, when you forgive that part of yourself, then you can step into your divine oneness. And that puts you in the state of heaven in an instant. In that moment that we recognize that any decision we make with our ego minds is severely limited, we are set free. Forgiveness of the ego self is a recognition of non-separation. If we let go of our ego identity, then we can sense the oneness of the universe, the connection of all things. It is also a release of attachment, a letting go of that perception that we know what is best. My ego brain is not to be trusted. As I ask forgiveness for the actions of my ego self, I am surrendering to a higher power, flow, energy, love, God. I see this forgiveness as the same sort of awakening, where the divine seed in us forgives the ego mind for its narrow choices and actions. Accepting Jesus in our heart is actually a surrendering to the divine connection that has always existed within us. And suddenly, the idea of being absolved of all sins in an instant makes a ton of sense.